What's up? Hey, YouTube, also Patreon. You're listening to the Patreon Patron-Only podcast. And this is a podcast that I do for patrons only on Patreon, but I'm putting one up on the YouTubes. So you guys know about it if you're interested in that kind of thing. But it's I'm doing it 5 days a week for 30 minutes after I get off of work, and I talk about all kinds of fun stuff. Like yesterday I was talking about six-armed European space dolphins from the moons of Jupiter. Yeah, it gets fucking weird. So it's a mixed bag of stuff. Probably by the time this goes up, what time is it? 1:48 a.m. It'll be 2:15 by the time I'm done recording, and probably almost 3 a.m. by the time it's online, because fuck my internet. Fuck my internet, man. Which means the YouTubers will probably get it before the Patreon people this time, just because trying to upload to both of them at the same time, fucking not gonna work. I'll peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah. So Saturday, the patrons will get this episode. But you know what? The patrons are cooler than you, so fucking deal with it. And we'll probably get a new virtual barbershop episode up Saturday evening, late. Depends on how stuff goes. Right now I'm working on Alex Hooper's Pug Yoga calendar. I'm laying that out for print. And I might try to mock one up tomorrow, because he needs copies of that. If you don't know who Alex Hooper is, he's an acquaintance of mine from Los Angeles. He's a comedian. You might have seen him kicking ass on Comedy Central's Roast Battle. Most recently, you might have seen him in some Hyundai commercials at the Super Bowl. You've probably seen him. You just don't even know it. But anyway, he did a fundraising calendar for the Pug Rescue of Los Angeles, I think is the name of it. He rescued a pug named Kimchi. He's a big pug aficionado, and he has a fully backed Kickstarter for these pug yoga calendars, which feature him and his rescue pug doing yoga poses. It's really fun. And I think by the time this goes up, you'll have about 4 hours left to get yours. And fun fact, I'm most likely, if the prototype turns out well, we'll be printing the mass-produced versions of these for Alex at my jobby. So not only will you get to support Alex's pug rescue fundraiser, but you'll get a nice piece of memorabilia that you can enjoy all year long in 2018 that will have been made by yours truly. I didn't do the photography or the layout, but I'm doing the print setup, which means, like, well, for example, like, say you'd have your images on a calendar layout. Since it's kind of like in a booked order, it's saddle stitched together. It's not like you print July on one side and August on the next side and whatnot. You know, it doesn't work that way, because then when you turn the page, you know, you'd have the bottom of one image wouldn't line up with the next one if you're going to make a foldable booklet out of it. So for example, like if I grab one of my mocked up pages here, you know, vertical page, I have the days for May with the image for July, and on the back of that upside down is June, you know, with the image and the days, because that's the center of the book. So it's a goofy layout. Took me a while to figure it out, because I don't normally do booklets from scratch anyway. So there is a machine that can do that at work for me, but I'm not at work, and work's closed all weekend, so I had to freewheel it, mock one up by hand like in the olden times, and then set it up in InDesign on the old computer. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so check that out if you want. I'm sure there'll be more available in the future for that kind of thing. Friday is usually my day off, but it's not like a day off. It's a day I run errands. Like, I had to go to the post office today, and then I had to go to my uncle's restaurant and eat a cheeseburger, because that's what I do on Friday. Then I had to go see Thor Ragnarok, because I'll always go see the Marvel movies. I kind of like them all. I worked on the first Thor movie back when I lived in Los Angeles, and it wasn't bad. I didn't care for all the Dutch angles, and I'm not a Natalie Portman fan in that particular series. I'm not into it. She's an okay actress. I don't know. I've not seen her anything recently where I was just like, wow, that was really good. She was pretty good in that movie Closer. I thought that was pretty good, but she's not my cup of tea. Not my favorite. Not my least favorite, but not my favorite either. Yeah. Then what did I do? Oh, then I had to go disassemble a computer for my grandmother who had passed away in September. We're still sorting through her stuff, and she's always had computers, and she's got a bunch of old ones that are getting trashed. I mean, this is like a Windows XP machine, and so I just ganked the hard drive out of it so it can be disposed of properly. It's like a 160 gigabyte IDE drive. It's pretty much useless in today's mediums. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. And then I came back here and was fiddling with this calendar till about 1 o'clock, and now I think I got it laid out. And I'm like, hell yeah. Now it'll save myself a lot of time and trouble on Monday when I get back to work to make the proof of this thing, because it'll all be ready to go already. And so, yeah. Tomorrow I should be able to do some virtual barbershop stuff. But yeah, this is the Patron-only podcast. You're listening to it on a listening point on YouTube. And if you want, daily episodes, go to patreon.com/listening point and put $1 in. Because then you get to listen to me bitch and moan all night long about God knows what. 5 nights a week, I'm in your ear holes. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to get in here and be like, hey, baby, what really helped me out a lot? What helped us both out a lot? Is if you and all your friends give me $1. And then there's this motherfuckers like, oh, what am I going to give you money for? Dudes, do you guys understand how society works? We live in a capitalist society, and everybody wants me to do all this neat shit. I can't even afford my own fucking apartment. At least one word, without being totally dead broke. So, fuck. I got a lot of student loan debt to pay off, and medical expenses, dental expenses, really. It's the curse of having bad teeth and hating your orthodontist when you're a kid. But I'm not going to blame you guys for that. But so far, the Patreon patrons have paid for my Adobe Creative Cloud for the last year. That's $660. And they bought a couple of Blue Hummingbird microphones. Those were $300 a piece. And they bought me a Tascam DR60D Mark II linear PCM recorder with XLR jack. So yeah. So when I get suggestions from regular listeners, that's fine. But you guys gotta understand that, I'm trying to grow the channel, and YouTube is not gonna grow this channel because YouTube wants you to fucking make, I'd have to do 7 virtual barbershops a week, and then they wouldn't even let me monetize them. The last one I put up with Debbie, they flagged that one. It hadn't even been up for 5 minutes. They're like, oh, you can't monetize this. It's not appropriate for all advertisers. Fortunately, it was a new video, and I could dispute that, and you have to get 1,000 views within 7 days to dispute that, and that's my new videos are about the only ones that do that anymore. Nobody to blame but myself and my lack of pretty lips and boobies. But you guys, seriously, I'm sick of saying it. I'm sick of asking for it. But if I could get, like, you guys understand how like TV shows work and radio programs and movies and whatnot. There are people that act for a living. There are people that model for a living. And when you present those people with monetary compensation, they will come be on your programming. So literally, this is how this works. If the Patreon was funded enough that I could go up to the talent agency that manages, say, somebody like Kevin Conroy, who is the voice of Batman in most of the best Batman animated series and films and whatnot. Basically, you pay for the booking, you pay the manager's fee, you pay their rate, and you pay the studio time. And that's it. I don't know what the rate is for that person, but if I was to look it up and find out, you know, it's not going to matter anyway. It's not like somebody's going to go, well, I'll just give you 10 grand. But if you got 10,000 people or even, 3,000 people and you save up the money over the course of a couple of months, we could do some crazy shit, like amazing shit. It just needs funding. I'm one guy with a regular job that barely affords me enough money to support me. So, yeah, I get a little miffed when people like to poke fun about, why are you asking for money to do this stuff? It's like, because it's a hobby. I happen to start doing it because I happen to already have the gear for stuff that I was doing as a job already, freelance audio video work. And it was just a side, it was a joke. I did it as a joke to make fun of the Starkey, Cetera, Luigi, and Manuel's Virtual Barbershop. I'm not the originator of this stuff. I just started doing parodies of it, and people liked it, so I kept doing it. And if you want it to grow beyond that, then it's got to come from somewhere. I can't make it out of nothing. I'm not a studio. You guys ever watch movies or TV shows and see like 150 names at the end of the credits? Yeah, I'm one person, one guy, by myself. So, fuck off. At least all you guys are bitch. All you guys that don't bitch, you guys are pretty alright. I don't mind getting a nice comment that says, hey, I like this stuff. Thanks for making it. You're alright. But the people that want to bitch about a free meal, you guys can fucking go smash your head on a rock, for all I care. I don't give a rat's ass about your non-constructive opinion. You got something that's going to help me out to say, you can leave a comment. If you're just going to bitch about something you don't like, you can go hang out with the people that like to scream, stop liking what I don't like. I want everything to be made specifically for me. I'm the only person that exists in the universe. Everything should suit me. Everything should be the way I like it. Because I'm the only person that exists, and I'm the only person whose opinion matters. Oh, boy. People make me mad because they don't do stuff exactly the way I like all the time. Nobody else has any feelings or deals with life or anything difficult at all. They're all out to serve me, and nobody's doing it right. Everybody should be serving me. Why is nobody making exactly what I want all the time, every day, for free for me? This is bullshit. Yeah, that's what you sound like. Fucking type of people that if you hit them hard enough to watch candy fall out of their assholes. I'm a bit riled up for 2 o'clock in the morning. But, yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this already. But I got my braces off Wednesday. And I don't feel like I got them off, though, because they took the brackets and the wires off, but they put on bonded retainers, which is basically just a wire glued to the inside of my teeth on the top and bottom. So the trade-off is, instead of my cheeks being raw from the brackets, my tongue is now raw from rubbing up on this wire and glue shit in my mouth. So the bonded retainer's got to stay on for minimum 6 months. They recommend wearing it for up to 2 years. I'm probably going to go year and a half mark. We'll see. I don't like it. I guess it's better than braces, but I don't care for it at all. But that's the price you pay. I'm a little worried too, because when I close my teeth, I feel it hitting on the right side, and that clicking is coming from all the right. I don't feel it on the left. I don't want to have an uneven bite. That's not good. It's bad, is what it is. So we'll see how my bite settles. I really don't want to be like, oh, my bite feels crooked, put the braces back on. Fuck that. I'm going to be poking around in my mouth. I can't fucking tell what's going on in there. I'm not a doctor. I only have a bachelor's degree. That's why I'm a bachelor. So, what else is going on? What do you guys think of this stuff? It's pretty stupid, right? I wouldn't listen to it. Do you guys like it? It might be something you listen to just to have noise on in the background. Maybe you like to pretend somebody's whispering in your ear all the time. That's the other thing too. Get a lot of requests to do more ASMR-y type stuff. Not my forte. I prefer comedy type stuff, and I have a thing called it's misophonia. It's basically certain sounds make me very irritated. So I'd say about 90 to 95% of the ASMR artists fucking bug the shit out of me to fucking hear them do any of the shit they do. I can't fucking stand that shit. And so to have people asking me to do that, it's like, you know that thing you hate to do? How about you do that for an hour? Or that thing you hate to listen to, how about you do that for an hour? And then you spend an hour and a half mixing the audio, listening to yourself do that for an hour and a half. And then, you know, it ends up being a 4-hour ordeal of fucking ugh. That's something I don't think you're going to find me doing is sitting down here in the basement with my mics going, I'm kissing my hand. Fucking God. Some of them ASMR people, man, their hands have been kissed by themselves more than I've been kissed by anybody. That's just fucking cray-cray. But again, plug in the Patreon, because this is the Patreon patron-only podcast that you guys are getting a freebie of. I could hire an actress. We could even do auditions. And then you guys could pick the one you wanted. And we could do fucking ear-to-ear fucking weird shit videos. If that's what you guys want, man. I'm telling you, this channel, I produce the content, but you guys fund the channel. The people that pay for the shit get their requests handled more diligently and more expeditiously than the people that don't. Why? Because they're paying for a service. Just like if I was to pay somebody to come help on a channel, as I have done before a couple of times. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, stuff. Oh, speaking of which, I got a couple of Patreon comments. Nick, you wrote a couple of books, man. I haven't got around to reading all those yet. So when I do, I'll respond. But it's been a busy day. So as soon as I get a chance to actually look at those, I'll get back to you. Maybe I'll read one. Maybe I'll read one aloud right now if I can pull it up on the old cellular phone. Nick Evans commented on your post. It's on Patreon. You could do every Friday's podcast as an open one, non-patrons included. That's what we're doing. That was his idea. Good idea. But I think I'm going to do it once a month. And that way, you know, you get 4 freebies a month and everybody else gets fucking 20 podcasts. You guys get 4. If you want 20 podcasts instead of 4, you have to give me $1. You know, you can't even buy a fucking bottle of soda out of a vending machine for $1. People begrudge fucking 10 hours of entertainment for $1. Fucking going to a movie costs $16. But oh no, 20 hours of podcasts and fucking an hour of virtual barbershop episodes a month. Fucking I ain't paying $1 for that. Fuck you, buddy. You ain't worth it. No? Alright then. Then you don't get none. Alright, so continuing on. This is a lot of response to what I talked about in yesterday's podcast. So, yeah, that's a bunch of the 6-armed... I was talking about 6-armed European space dolphins. So if you guys want to hear about that, you're going to have to become patrons. Let me just got another comment here. Not exactly sure what this is regards to anymore because I was pretty loopy when I recorded last night, but let's just read this thing. Really informal and open to improvisational concept of tiny person haircut. Tell me if this is impractical or if I'm talking bollocks. So let me do this in an English accent since I'm going to be Nick. I'm just throwing ideas up against the wall here. Probably prop bell from a cat collar. Physical voice reducer. I've been told you can get results by talking in a low volume through a hole in a piece of thick card or cardboard. A piece large enough that the microphones can't hear the reverb from around the edges. I should test that. Thoughts for later. Opening. Manuel does the door thing. Sounds like he's arguing with somebody, annoyed with somebody. Statements like, how can you even hold scissors? And I don't think that's safe or even sanitary. Movements around the room, accompanied by sound effect, maybe small bell or even a couple of small screws in a shot glass. I don't know, something that makes high-pitched rattling chime sound. Manuel greets the customer, apologizing because he put out an ad for a new stylist for the barbershop, and now this weird tiny girl won't leave him alone. More sound effects and Manuel's replies to someone the customer cannot hear, resulting in Manuel annoyed, allowing the new stylist to do whatever they want. The haircut slow, methodical, with great effort. Our small person can move from ear to ear. Fast, the card voice reducer might be useful here, as it could make a little gust of air as they move around. But each cut of the scissors takes effort. Maybe some topics to talk about would be whether the stylist knows how they got here, that they used to cut hair back home, but it's a little more difficult here. Throw in some references. Hey, listen, would be obvious but fun. Maybe I like to tinker with things, or I knew this guy, but all he ever did was play around, never wanted to grow up. And once I caught him literally chasing his shadow, or other not so subtle references to fairies in animation or games. Manuel can then throw in lines, as he usually does, about how things are going, but he can't hear what the stylist is saying. The same way the customer couldn't hear him when she was talking to Manuel earlier. Maybe comment on how he can't hear, maybe some backsass from the stylist that Manuel doesn't catch either. Maybe finish off with a little scratch, just with a single fingernail or fingertip to simulate tiny hands. Outro. New stylist moves back to Manuel with sound effects, and Manuel gets up to inspect the customer's new style. While Manuel is close enough, the stylist can be heard by both him and the customer if they want to say anything together. And the stylist says goodbye and leaves with sound effects following her. Manuel could end it with a calm, understated comment at the end of his own outro. Thanks for coming. Subscribe for more. Stop by Patreon to support more updates and get Manuel into a recording studio. I've been Manuel, and that girl was plain fucking weird. Any good. I like the idea, Nick. That's pretty neat. I don't know how I could execute it, because I don't exactly sound like a tiny little girl. And I was screwing around with the pitch shifter in Adobe Audition, and it really crushes the audio to the point where it doesn't work. So we will keep our eyes out for somebody that can play a pixie in the future, but I will work on that one. Yeah. So that's a thing that could be a thing. I kind of like that idea. I hope my impression of you wasn't too shitty. I don't actually know very many people from London anymore. I haven't hung around with anybody from London in probably, what year is it? 2017? I haven't hung around with anybody from London since 2010. Actually more like 2009, so it's been a while. I don't recall the accent that well. Yeah, fellas. What do you think about that stuff? What do you guys want on the virtual barbershop for Saturday? Aside from tiny fairy people this is something I'm gonna have to pull off by myself. So if you guys don't know the process, when I do the stylist and Manuel, I It depends on what the voice is first, because talking like Manuel can leave me hoarse, and then it can be very difficult to maintain the character. Also, once I start doing the Manuel voice, it's hard for me to break out of it. So I tried to do the stylist first, and then I figure out how long their haircut was, and then I do the Manuel thing where I open the door and I say, "Hey, customer for you," and then I go play the guitar. And then I take my 2 audio tracks to the computer and I throw up a multi-track session. I have sinus problems. Session in Adobe Audition. A session in Audition that's multi-track. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's. I can't remember what my short-term memory sucks lately. Yeah, so then I mix the audio and try to get the levels right. I've been finding lately that the Manuel guitar has been a little too loud. I need a bigger area. I need to give the impression of more space. And I was looking at some higher end omnidirectional mics, because these hummingbirds are cardioid, which doesn't quite get the same effect I'm finding. But I was looking at high end omnidirectional mics and thought they're way overpriced, like $1,300 a piece. So that's a long ways away. That would take the current Patreon patrons. Let's do some math here. I think we're up to $120 a month. Half of that goes to Creative Cloud. Well, $53 a month goes to Creative Cloud. 53 times 12, so that's $636 a year. So we got $120. Oh, I also have to pay taxes on that too. Fuck. So let's take. I forgot about the fucking taxes. That's gonna kill me at the end of the year. So I got 120 times point. We'll call it 7.5 to be safe. So that's $90. Well, we'll do an annual tax roundup. So let's just do 120 minus 53, 67 times 12. That's $804 a year. And taxes, I live in Illinois, so the taxes just went up again. Let's say I keep 78% of that, roughly. That's $627 a year. So 4 years. Yep. So guys, in 4 years, at the rate we're going, we can get 2 super duper high end omnidirectional XLR compressor mics. Yippee. Or here's a neat idea. Check this shit out. Let's do some math on this one. All right, say magically that, well, this is a podcast, so only like 150 people are going to listen to it. But let's say that happened. Let's say that, I think right now I have 26 patrons thereabout. Maybe it's around 30. I got quite a few more this month. I'm surprised, and I'm glad that people are signing up. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I'm doing a math problem. So let's say hypothetically that 1,000 more people signed up for the Patreon at $1 a piece. All right, this is fucking mind blowing. All right, check this shit out. Okay, so we've already got the 120. With 1,000 more people paying $1, that becomes $1,120 a month. Now you multiply that times 12, and then you multiply that by 0.78 for taxes. That's $10,483.20 a year, minus $636 for the Adobe Creative Cloud. That's $9,800 fucking dollars. Okay. So let's go ahead and subtract off the $2,600 for 2 new microphones, and then let's subtract another $800 off for a nice preamp. That leaves us with $6,447.20. Now, you guys, like voiceover artists tend to charge by the minute, but I think I could get regular TV type actors to do improv and stuff like that. That's more like an hourly rate or a day rate. And the way I would plan it out to do that expansion, if it was by some miracle that we would actually get that much money, which is way more than I think I would need to start doing this. But that would allow us to go into a pro studio. We could do auditions, and you guys could pick the actors to play the characters to do exactly, not suggest. It would be exactly what you guys wanted to do, because that's how acting works. You write the part, you audition the part. If they're willing to play the part, they play the part, and you pay them to play the part. And in this case, the part would be different haircuts or different situations. And it's so much easier for me to do a recording without having to mix in 20 different characters. It can be done, but then you got to worry about timing, and a lot of the comedy comes from the beats and the timing that occurs naturally, and that's why I like to work. I find the show's always funnier when I have somebody here with me, or maybe even two people, instead of me recording a track and then trying to record a second track that can meet up and find beats in that track, because I can't listen to it while I'm playing the other character. It just doesn't work. I could get an MP3 player and then put the MP3, and it eats up so much more time. It's way more time consuming to do. And if I could do, it's like mumbling. If I'm just mumbling, but I'm just saying, you guys, literally wrap your heads around this. Fucking Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy as the Batman and the Joker, fucking doing some crazy binaural, super high-end binaural studio setting shit. Okay, mind-blowing shit. I'm saying this, and somebody that's probably got some money is probably going to try to fucking do this, and then I'm just going to be the guy that had the idea and is going to get screwed out of doing it. But that's the end game, and I'm at the 30-minute mark, 32 minutes, so you guys get some bonus stuff. But this has been the Patron-only podcast. And if you get a chance, check out Alex Hooper's Pug Yoga Calendar. Just Google search Alex Hooper, AlexHooper, Pug Yoga Calendar Kickstarter. I'll see you guys at the Virtual Barbershop Saturday.